Steps to the spiritual apostle Paul informs that grace can be felt by the one who, amidst great trials and sorrows, feels the joy of hospitality and is in poverty. First, when there is nothing superfluous but a small material abundance is calculated for good, with a feeling of joy, of hospitality at the core. The second type of poverty is when there are problems and dependence and there are no means of subsistence or they are few, and this is an obstacle in life approximately set without detailed consideration. I want to try to answer this question and explain from the side of my understanding of the doctrine of the Trinity. My answer is to come to the right poverty to such when there is nothing superfluous, no riches, no place for fornication, no means for this and other entertainments, in impure sensations, as if not edited. Paul conveys such a phrase: everything is permissible for me, but not everything is useful. In my understanding, therefore, being a beggar basically has a negative connotation. But since the likened apostle in service and his mission conveys in one of the most significant spiritual laws, that for him as a person and therefore for us, if we follow the teaching, the world is dual. It is right to be a beggar. Power means that everything weak and small has a rejection at its core. But if to rejection we add the finding of our honest good self, taking care of this in the teaching of the Trinity, in victory over worldly dependencies, in the right knowledge of how to relate to them, to cure oneself of dependencies and problems. They must be protected from the inner self, hidden from the views outside you or me, to find coziness and comfort for life in general correctly, but not to be a beggar in worship and fear of God, but to be a beggar in desires that are not useful for others. That is not getting high from anything, according to the teaching of the Trinity. In the chapter of the character love your neighbor's son as your son, for the presentation of spiritual light in your own way, at least in a small manifestation, which will already mean beyond strength, but by your deliberate, thoughtful action, coming from attention to divine bright of hospitalities, pure without feelings, but beyond strength by efforts, according to the teaching of the Trinity, taking into account the virtuous light through the Father responsibility in a collective image by yourself, working in the bright side, in search through the invisible.